Curry Gang Fish Fam, welcome back or welcome for the first time to Fish for Thought. My name is Chris, I am your host. Now guys, whoa, alright, hold your horses. I know for a fact some people out there lose their cool just a little bit when talking to a fish abuser, trying to make them change their ways. And I'm here to tell you, despite all the burns I throw out on fish tank review, you don't want to be in a position where you're telling someone off, especially someone you know personally in real life. The best way to get a fish abuser off that abusive track and to actually do some research is not to just scream at their faces and tell them they're wrong, because whenever someone is confronted with the fact that they might be wrong, they get defensive. And when they get defensive, it's not about being right or wrong anymore, it's about their pride or their ego, especially if you know these people, because then they don't perceive it as fact, they perceive it as, oh, this guy's trying to one-up me. This guy thinks they know more than I do. What you're arguing about is not for the pet anymore. It's for ego. It's for who's right, who's wrong. All of a sudden, it's like, who are you to tell me what to do with my money or the way I do things? Of course, on FTR, when I do see a really bad tank on crappy fish tanks, that's for entertainment purposes. That's why the series exists and so many people watch. That is very different from confronting someone that way with someone you know in real life, personally. If I did that to any friends that I have, let's just say I wouldn't have too many friends then. That's probably why I have no friends. Just kidding, guys. You know how people just like to say I don't have any friends. If you're actually my friend in real life. 8:30 tonight, Valorant, see you there. Ego is everywhere and it's one of the biggest problems. And it gets in the way of communication, it gets in the way of actually doing something good, strictly for the good of it. And it messes things up. So this is where empathy comes along and understanding when we're communicating like this. Additionally, people who are trying to get fish abusers off that abusive track, oftentimes they see themselves as the savior. A lot of them, whether we admit it or not, have this sort of savior complex. Like, hey, if I can just help this person stop abusing fish, so many fish are going to be saved because of me. I'm going to be rescuing so many fish because I just converted someone from being a fish abuser to doing proper research and doing things properly. That's on me. That's awesome. I win. Hate to break it to you, it's not gonna work that way. And it's sad that anyone actually thinks like that, but they do. And it's really parallel to some Christian thinking. I put it in quotes because Christians should not actually try to convert anyone, especially doing it so that they can feel like a savior. Their job is simply to plant the seeds, if nothing else. I've not heard of one person who wasn't a Christian and suddenly became a Christian because someone talked them into it. Someone forced knowledge into their heads. Plants will grow whether the farmer is asleep or awake. Long story short, we should get over ourselves. Not to make this a religious thing, but I just found the parallels very neat. A lot of people out there trying to play savior, trying to just put someone down so that hopefully they will stop abusing fish. They don't realize that not only are they not helping, they're probably making things worse, because remember, whenever your parents told you not to do something, that's when you really want to do it. And when they let you do it, you're like, oh, maybe I don't really want to do that too much. Not saying everyone's in the rebellious phase all the time, but there's definitely some parts of that stay intact even when you grow up. So what should we say? Basically, all we should say are the facts and let them decide for themselves. It takes time for this kind of understanding to happen. And sometimes they'll just never care more than they care right now abusing that goldfish. That's the truth of the matter. They might never care as much as you do. They might never stop abusing fish. Maybe they'll stop keeping fish, but don't think for a second they're just gonna magically turn into a great fish keeper overnight. So the best way to handle the situation is to keep calm. Don't shout. The moment you shout, the moment you start being rude, that's when everything starts to collapse. Tell them the facts, tell them your experience, and tell them why, and if they don't want to listen, stop talking, move on. If you truly can't stand them being a fish abuser, you don't have to be their friend. Show them this channel. Even though I make fun of fish abusers from time to time, it's probably better coming from me. They don't know me personally, so I'm like a third-party source. If someone knows you personally, and especially if they're your senior or equals, it feels weird to have to listen to someone educate you. They won't take it as well, trust me on this one. It'll damage your relationship, it'll make things just weird and harder. But a third party, and if you scroll down to the comments, most people are, you know, backing this channel up and what this channel has to say. They see that, they'll see that, oh, I'm in the minority here, I really shouldn't be doing this. It might just speed up their transition, who knows? Or maybe they'll just end up hating me and quitting the hobby. Also an option. Glass half full or glass half empty. That's not really for us to decide for the fish abuser. They gotta decide for themselves. Alright, I think you guys get the point. If you guys have other strategies or more specific strategies of how to handle these sort of situations of, you know, talking to a fish abuser, make sure to leave them in the comments. I'll see you guys down there. If you enjoyed this video, if it was thought-provoking at all or helpful in any way, then please smash that like button and subscribe. There'll be more videos to come. And don't forget to get your hands wet.
Tetra, 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 we in a spot, coming in hot, ventral fin dot, acclimate that. Where my shoal at, clear my fin rod from Cariciformes to Paracharodon. Hold on, there's not another fish that you can wish for. Lit fam sus, I finna one, I finna gone 3 days without furt. I'm an addict, like fanatic, I'm a baddest, no tabs, only dirt. My Cory gang so loyal, black tetra go skirt. We came to play, came to silence, gang.